My name is Pat Nelson. I've been married to Andrea for 2 years and have been coming to Community for 11. In 2007, I was invited by a friend to come to Community. I got involved heavily at Stuco at the Yellow Box. I also was on the setup team with my Stuco small group at Naperville Downtown. We actually got to be one of the bands that played every single month, which was a ton of fun. And it was really through those first steps that I chose to follow Jesus for the first time. In 2011, I did an internship at the Shorewood location of Community. And right after that, eventually got hired and joined our staff team at Yorkville. Stayed there for a year until a position actually opened back up at the Shorewood location. Through the One Initiative, the Plainfield, Shorewood, and Romeoville locations combined, and got to join the staff team as the worship pastor there. Seeing so many familiar faces and so many new faces, learning new people's stories, really just embarking on something truly special for the community in Plainfield there.
We started attending Plainfield, and he started doing sound. I joined the Connect team, and from there it was like, where strangers become family.
Once we got involved, it just immediately turned into our home. We knew that's what we were meant to be.
I got baptized and I was like, wow, this is like the most amazing experience. Not just getting under the water and giving my life to Jesus, but in God, but the way that Community does it. It's like, it's a party.
Shortly after that, my wife Andrea and I decided to sponsor a child for the first time in Nicaragua through Compassion. And through Community's partnership in Celebration Generosity, we actually got to help plant a church there as well, which Jose, our sponsored child, goes to. It's so amazing to do that locally, but when we start to think of ourselves as a global church and a part of a global community, to have a tiny investment in the life of a child and of a brand new church that is now going on to plant other churches in that country is really, really special.
Mi nombre es Oscar Torres, tengo la edad de 21 años, estoy pastoreando en la Iglesia Libre de los Valles, en la comunidad El Nin en Nicaragua. Acá vienen niños de escasos recursos, como al igual donde crecí habían niños de escasos recursos, al igual que donde crecí, y por eso sirvo acá, de rescatar, de salvar.
So during this season, I had really felt a strong call that God had told me to take a risk on something. I had grown up thinking it was normal to plant churches, and I had never actually done it. So this was our time. We loved it. We felt God's calling on this. We felt His blessing. We eventually said yes and joined the staff team as the Downers Grove Arts Director. Leading into launch, I got to know a guy named Brian, learned about his journey of faith.
A lot of the things that I'd done, I didn't think I could be forgiven for. And it wasn't that I was necessarily looking for forgiveness from a God, but I didn't even think on a human level that people could really look at me for what I was. I had made up my mind at this point. I didn't want to live. I didn't want anything to do with it. And so I went out to the garage, and as I was about to kick the stool over, the garage door opened, and I ran. I broke down, I cried, and I ran. And I reached out, and my mother took me to the hospital, and from then on, I haven't had a drink or a drug. After the fog really did clear of some time of sobriety, I knew that there was something out there, something greater than me, that was not me, that was taking care of me all along. Because if I really got what I deserved, I wouldn't be here. I shouldn't be here. I kind of heard about this new thing going on in Downers Grove. It kind of just all fell into place, and that they're starting this new church, and what an opportunity to kind of be at the grassroots of things and wanting to renew myself and getting to know Christ. Jesus says get baptized, plain and simple. And I want to be washed of my sins. I want to die and be reborn. I don't want to just have a behavior modification. I want to transform. I want my heart to change.
It's been cool to have a front row seat to everything the One Initiative has accomplished over these last 2 years. To the brand new Plainfield location opening up, to starting new churches in Nicaragua, to the brand new Downers Grove location, and countless other events and stories that we've been able to tell. It's really humbling and remarkable to be a part of a community that is willing to take a risk, all because of the same mission and because we are one on that mission together.
I just want people to know that there's hope. That there is hope, and there's hope that you too can have a change of heart, and that you too can be worry-free and joyful and have these wonderful things, that you too can be saved. And I really believe that.